All right, so now that Jake has taught you how to tune your guitar, we're going to get into the fundamentals of chords. And you can get really detailed in this, and we're going to keep it really simple. And so what I would like to do is, a chord is made up of 3 notes played over and over again, and it can get more in depth than that, but we're going to keep it with that. That being said, is in guitar, there's really no way to share kind of a pattern per se, but there is a cool technique. And so if you take your hand and you put it up, and your index finger, we're going to start with just numbering these. It's going to be 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and your thumb is 5. So one more time: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the reason I show that is, if I say take your first finger and put it on your second string, which is your A, on your second fret, and I said that's what that would look like. And so with this instructional video will be some downloadable PDF files and things that you can use to practice, and you'll see the number system: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you see a 2 on the second fret, it will show you that you're going to put your 2 finger on the second fret of your E string. With all that being said, I'll break it down. And so today we're going to learn 2 chords. It's going to be your G chord and your C2 chord. And we're going to keep the C a little bit more simple, just for the sake of this video. And so again, a G chord sounds like this, and a C chord sounds like this. And so we're going to break this down. And so if you take your second finger, and this is your E string, as Jake taught you on the last video, and you take your second finger and you put it on the E string, and you count up 3, 1, 2, 3. And when you play, when you push, you're going to push right behind the fret, not on top of the fret or you'll get buzz, but right behind it, so it's nice and clean. And so you're going to take your second finger on your 3rd fret of your E string. And then you're going to take your first finger and put it on the A string, 2nd fret. So it sounds like this. And then your next 2 strings will be open. And then you're going to take your 3rd finger and put it on your 3rd fret of your B string. And then you're going to take your 4th finger, your pinky, on the 3rd fret of the E string, the high E string. And it sounds like this. So what I would encourage you to do is practice that, just practice strumming. And you want to get a couple tips. Is if you put your wrist a little bit underneath the guitar, it will help you get your hands away from the strings, so you're not doing that kind of thing and getting buzz. But you want to get underneath that guitar, push hard with your thumb on the back, and you get a nice clean string. So practice that, take a few minutes, get that down. Make sure your fingers are in the right place. If you need to look at the chord chart and rewatch that part of that video, do so, because it's important that you don't practice wrong, because it's a lot harder to reteach yourself later. And again, this is a G chord. Take a few minutes and practice that. All right, so now that we know our G chord, we're gonna basically keep the same look and feel and principle, but we're gonna move it down. You're gonna move your top 2 fingers down a string. So you're going to take your second finger on your E string on 3rd fret and move it down to your A string, 3rd fret. And then you're going to do the same thing, your 1 finger on the D string, 2nd fret. And then you have 1 open, which is your D string. And then your 3rd fret with your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And then your 4th finger or 3rd fret of the E string, and it sounds like this. When you play this chord, you only want to play your bottom 5 strings. Leave the top string muted, and sometimes I put my thumb over the top of that to help, or just make sure you're only playing the bottom 5 strings, because that is the C of the chord. That's what makes it a C chord. So between the 2, it looks like this. Now, as you're practicing, I want you to think in mind, there's a common denominator in this case, the bottom 2 fingers, but in all the chords we're going to learn in this series, your ring finger never moves. And what I'm going to show you is, in all of the chords we'll learn, it never moves. And so use that to help you transition between chords. And so practice your G chord and your C chord as many times as you can until it becomes easy, and then move on to the next video.